You got this.
You got this. All right, we ready? Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Shayne.
What?
I said you got this, and you just went, you got this. That's how he started it.
That's a good... roll the clip. Did I say that?
You got this.
You got this. All right, we ready? So today we're talking about being adults.
What do you know about being an adult?
Not much. I have not learned
I mean, this is your like full-time job, so I agree.
This is all I do. I have not learned anything. I've gotten worse.
At what age do you think you stopped like aging? Like where do you think you were like, this is who I am?
I don't think I learned who I was until I was like 26.
That's good. I think that's a good age.
I think 26. I think you witnessed it. You were around the time when I like suddenly was just like, oh, I think I know who I am.
Oh yeah. I watched you become boy to man.
But yeah, so we're talking about being adults, just all around. We're gonna cover several different areas of it. But I guess before that, how do you feel you are as an adult? Do you feel like you're doing it well?
Well, I'm currently dressed as like an 8-year-old at
That's
a day
fair.
camp.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Does anyone know how to adult? I think like that's the illusion that's been broken, right? Like, because growing up we thought, oh, our parents are so adult. They just like know everything. Now looking back, my parents were like 25 when they had me. They didn't know shit. I don't know shit at 25. Like, yeah. It was crazy. So I'm still figuring it out, but I don't know if we can figure it out.
There's a shocking discovery you make. I feel like it's in your mid to late 20s where you look around and realize like, oh, everyone's still dumb.
Yeah.
Like people don't hit this point where there's just everyone's a genius.
Yes.
And like it's just like, oh,
I actually watched.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
I watched something on YouTube that says we're getting dumber. They said that like we peaked in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah, because everyone's getting dumber. Like because things are now more automated. Your phone can just tell you how to do everything.
I don't know. That feels like a boomer said that. Because I also think like we're getting smarter because there's like we're just cutting out like a bunch of unnecessary.
But literally, test scores are going down.
Oh.
Yeah.
First topic, cooking. So for me, I've had an interesting journey with cooking. I started off as an adult, literally not knowing how to cook anything, and I would just literally eat like cans of tuna and bananas.
Ew, your
day.
Breath.
I would. Don't
Were
worry.
you single
I
then?
also had black coffee.
Oh, even worse.
And
so you're in the
Oreos.
bathroom all the time.
I would get a sleeve of Oreos every week, and I'd make sure to get rid of it by the end. I'd down it. 8 Oreos at a time. I just was eating for sustenance. I had no idea how to like plan my meals. My pantry was empty. My fridge was empty.
How long did that go on for?
That went on for a decent amount of time, man. Like, I would say, I truly, like, going back to, like, 26 being the age that I became a man, like, I would say
it's like a bar mitzvah.
It was around 25 when I was suddenly like, I need to learn how to cook.
I need to get my shit together.
I need to fucking learn what food is. And I literally was like, okay, I'm gonna pick up. I got a Mediterranean cookbook, and I was like, I
remember that.
I'm gonna pick a cuisine, and I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna just start going recipe by recipe, and it's most recipes are so easy.
Yeah.
Like I would say to people, like, if you just follow it to the T, you can cook amazing things at home. The thing that you will have to learn is cleaning the kitchen. Like you have to just.
I hate it. Are you a cooker or a cleaner?
I love cleaning.
You love cleaning?
I love cleaning.
See, I don't, I can't.
And my kitchen always has to, if there is anything in the sink, it pisses me off. I have to get rid of it. It has to be cleaned immediately.
Yeah, Claudio and I have like divided up. So when he like cooks, maybe I clean. When I cook, he cleans. But man, we both don't like the cleaning part. And also the older I get, my smell is becoming like more and more sensitive where if something smells bad, like I cannot handle it. I had to end my membership to LA Fitness because I just couldn't stand the smell of the gym.
Whoa.
It was awful.
Does our sense of smell get better as we age?
I don't think for me, it's getting worse.
I don't think that's happening for me.
Like I used to be able to like cat poop, pee, whatever.
Well, you're saying you were less sensitive.
Good.
Now your sense of smell is more powerful.
It's more powerful, and I can just gag at any moment.
Oh, that's
There's
awful.
been moments where I like put up the trash to like go throw out the trash, and I just unexpectedly just gag.
Oh. Did you when you were going through college and stuff? Did you know how to cook? Like, was there a phase when you were eating
college
bullshit?
is not the place to like.
No.
It's all ramen and like
Sure.
I went to an expensive college, so
Okay.
just going. Well, I'm not bragging about that because I was drowning in debt and I was eating ramen all the time. But yeah, I did not learn cooking because my grandma, she was like always cooking Korean dishes up. And I didn't really pick it up. I didn't really learn. She was definitely very territorial in the kitchen. So it took a while to like even understand. I still don't know how to boil an egg right.
Really?
It's just like the timing I don't understand.
Oh, see, I have one of those automatic. See, this is how we're getting
that's
dumber.
a cheat code.
We're getting dumber because I don't know how to boil an egg, but I have a thing and it boils eggs perfectly.
Yeah, and it tells you.
It costs like $15.
Can't afford it. I went to that expensive college.
I still have no money. Was there foods? Were you raised in like a strict household of like no sweets,
yes,
or whatever? And
no soda.
What happened when you became an adult and you could just do whatever you wanted?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Is like I think pro of being an adult is you got adult money, you can do whatever the fuck you want. So we were not allowed to have much soda in the house.
Sure.
And so now I have a Coke Zero, Diet Coke whenever I want, and that feels
Nice.
like I'm winning.
Dude, I was raised in such a health household.
Really?
My mom was a fitness trainer. My dad was also like a fitness freak, and so it was skim milk, whole wheat bread. Everything was diet.
Boiled
like,
chicken,
non-fat.
boiled broccoli.
We did not have.
Well, that's why you're eating freaking tuna and black coffee once you go out in the free market. Like,
what?
Jeez.
But I can't have sweets in my apartment, or else I will just eat them so fast.
Yeah, there's like
nothing less. I'm not one of those people
Yeah.
that can be like, I will have a single Oreo. I will walk away now. No.
Well,
they're
Oreos
gone.
are impossible to just have one.
But anything.
I hear you. I'm lucky that when we do have snacks in the house, there's this like huge Italian rat named Claudio that every morning I wake up, it's all gone.
Oh, there you go. That's the key.
Yeah.
Get a huge Italian rat.
Yeah, and they'll just eat all the good food in the house.
We have some comments from other people that we reached out to in our community. Someone said, when I only recently discovered you can't just scrape your food from a pan with a knife. That depends on the pan. If you have shitty pans, who gives a shit?
Yeah, and my parents just bought me a bunch of pans, which sounds so lame,
Yeah?
but they're fucking awesome.
Oh, no.
Are
That's
they the Telfar? The Telfar?
Teflon?
Teflon?
Telfar?
Tonka truck pans.
I've cooked enough in these past few years that I've now got cast iron skillets that I have seasoned myself. And I use those.
Ah,
Hell
you know,
yeah.
we went from bad shitty breath in the bathroom all the time to great seasoned
dude.
cast iron skillets.
I'm cooking all sorts of crazy shit.
Well, you never
nowadays.
cooked for me, so I can't.
Okay.
You never cooked for me. That's just a fact.
Okay, yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
I have actually baked cookies for everyone here at this office.
Never
and they
tasted it
f***ing
before.
loved
I don't work
them.
here anymore, remember?
Cilantro lime sugar cookies.
Damn, look at you.
And people loved them. People loved them.
What I'm learning is like, I think you're just very good at instructions.
Yeah, no, really, actually.
Like,
I actually am so good at being like, what do I need to do? Okay. Like, I never break the rules.
Yeah,
I follow it to the T.
Yeah.
But I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's fun for
That's
me.
a good skill to have.
Yeah. Someone else said, I was super proud that I fried up some hash browns and scrambled eggs last week and totally nailed it. I'm 39. Hey, look, doesn't matter what age.
Becoming a
Get it
man
going.
has no age.
I learned that I was bad at adulting when I realized that my breakfasts had been exclusively Fruit Loops in a red Solo cup every morning for a few weeks. Get bowls. You can go to Goodwill and get good bowls.
I think it's okay to have a phase though. A couple
Oh
weeks.
yeah. Also, cereal. Who gives a shit how you eat that?
Who gives a shit? Fruit Loops?
Doesn't matter.
What's your favorite cereal?
You know, I just bought. I'm trying to get back into cereal right now. I was out of it for a while. Trying to get back into the game.
You know that, right?
No, but I wasn't in the game, so I'm trying to ease my way back in. Trying to figure out what's a good entry level cereal for someone who's trying to get into cereals.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna try every cereal slowly. Like I'm gonna just every time I run out of cereal, I'm gonna buy
make
it different.
content out of that. Like that's the adulting thing to do. If this is like, oh, I want to get into cereal, maybe I'll try all of them. Put it on camera,
Is a man
dude.
not just allowed to enjoy cereal in privacy?
Not if you're a content creator. The adult thing would be make money off of it. Fruity Pebbles is my favorite.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I think, is probably my...
That's top tier.
Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles, I could say those are my favorites, but those ones are fucking nuts. Those don't count. Those are insane.
You know what I want to get into? I want to get into making cereal milks for my coffee. I've heard that's a thing.
See, this ties into another thing, which is, I don't do that because I make coffee really well now. I've learned a thing or two from Garrett over the years. Garrett and Ian.
Because you're good at following instructions.
I'm good at listening and following instructions. And I make bomb-ass coffee now.
Okay.
And now I can't have Starbucks. I'm like Ian. I can't drink Starbucks because the coffee I make is better.
How do you have your coffee now?
I make it with a pour-over. I've got the whole situation. I've amassed the whole situation over the years. So I've got a grinder, and I set it to the specific grind setting, which is 17 for pour over. I heat it up to 204 degrees. You make sure you wet the filter first, and then you toss that excess water. Then you pour the grounds in there. Do a little pour over all of it. You let it sit for 20 seconds. You let the gas escape. You let it whatever. And then you pour it in like a nickel-sized shape in the middle, and then every now and then you do like a couple loops around the hole, and then like keep going. But you do it slowly, so it doesn't just you want it to stay level.
Was this interesting to anyone?
All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Okay.
Finance. We're getting into that now. I guess just first off,
how good with you money?
I think I'm good with my money because I'm lame. I think I'm a frugal person because I just don't spend that much. Like, I'm not into cars.
Same.
I just don't care about a lot of things that people spend a lot of money on. Like
you don't spend a ton of money on clothes.
Yeah, I don't really. Like I've tried.
Nice.
I've tried.
Nice furniture.
Okay. That started off really.
Enriching your life.
You know what? No,
gift for friends.
I disagree.
Stuff like that.
I disagree. I was gonna say on the topic of
finance.
When it comes to money on clothes, I like to spend a good chunk on like a piece that I'm like, I'm going to wear this so much for years, and it goes with a bunch of shit, and so I'm not replacing it a bunch of times. I just have those staple pieces.
That actually is something I'm investing in because I'm someone who just gets a $3 shirt and get a new $3 shirt. But I'm like, now I'm investing, now that I'm older, now that I'm an adult, now that I'm a woman. I'm trying to invest in my forever closet. So I'm trying to find stuff that I will be wearing, like these bright, crushed velvet pants.
Yeah,
I will wear.
You're gonna keep wearing those
until I'm 60 years old.
You're gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, forever.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. You know the lesson I wish I'd have been better about? I have a phobia of paperwork. I'm scared of paperwork.
Okay.
I'm scared of any sort of paperwork. I want to avoid it.
Okay.
I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this because like the ramifications are so serious.
Yeah,
I'm just
I hate it.
But my advice to people would be like, organize that shit. Keep it organized. Like, know where everything's at. Keep any sort of thing you have going and know about it.
Like get one of those like expandable folders.
Yeah, like just be up to date. And whenever you add a new thing, like if you like make an investment account or like start a 401k, like know everything about it and like keep track of it and know what that is, because if you just let things just slide and you're just kind of like, oh, whatever, then you get fucking audited at some point in your life and you don't know where your shit is. Like, you're never gonna be able to know everything about it all, but like try to keep just some tabs on it.
And also, while you're on the subject of 401k, like here's a really fast crash course. If you get a full-time job that does a 401k and they do matching, sometimes they'll be like, if you put in this percentage, we'll match it. That is free money. Even after you leave your job, that is free money. So whatever your company matches percentage-wise, match that. Go a little more if you can, and that'll be free money. Even when you leave the job, it's still, my first job I left 10 years ago, that money is just growing in that 401k. I haven't even touched it. Free money. Yeah. Free money.
Okay. Social life.
Was that a transition?
Yeah, it's our next topic. It's our next topic. How do you make friends as an adult?
Oh,
That's something I'm not good at all.
I just am not good at it. I don't know.
I've made most of my friends here.
At work. Yeah. That's why I'm back here, because you guys are my friends. I miss you guys.
I don't know. I didn't find any friends for the past couple years. No. I don't know if I've ever made friends like out and about. Like,
well, and you're similar to me of like, we moved around a lot when we were young. We're both military kids.
Yeah.
Like, I never had friends that I've known for like, my oldest friends are from high school and I don't really stay in touch with them. So it's like, I'm always kind of just have these like different groups of friends, and people at work are usually like my closest friends. Yeah. So it's hard. Now they have Bumble BFF. Have you ever tried that?
No.
Yeah, so it's like Bumble.
No.
But like to find a friend.
Just me with a couple Bud Lights, just like looking for a bro.
Yeah.
Yo. I thought you've made friends through like those
meetup groups.
Meetup groups.
I have done that, and that's actually how I kind of met Claudio. Is I met Claudio through a friend that I met at a meetup group.
So meetup groups are good.
Yeah, because they're more of like a group environment, but that was like back in 2015. That could be crazy now. It could be like Plenty of Fish, Craigslist type of shit now.
I did a couple meetups.
Which ones?
I did now I wasn't going into these like, these were not like, oh, I'm gonna make friends here. It was like, one was like a outdoor survival thing. I just was like, I was so bored and I was like, this sounds fun. So I went to San Dimas, and this guy taught me and like 5 other people how to make traps.
He's like, okay, I'm gonna trap you. You gotta get out of it in 5.
He taught us how to like build traps out of sticks that we could kill small animals if we needed to survive. He told us which plants are poisonous or not. Like, it was that type of shit. It was actually fun. I will say, I know we're not gonna cover dating too much on this, but like, I will say, the times in my life where I've been like, oh man, like I'm so desperately single. My dating life is nothing. The thing that has actually made my life better, and this is stuff that I feel like every couple of years I'm like, oh, I need to do this again, is like trying to be a really great friend to people. That is actually the key to like somehow also making your dating life work. Yeah. Is like, I'm gonna be a really great friend. I'm not gonna worry about getting a girlfriend. I'm gonna focus on being a really great friend to the friends that I have, and also to anyone else I meet, of being a really great friend. And you will find your social circle build so much, and then suddenly you're just meeting more people because you're just focused on being
You're just like going out more, you're like going to their shows.
And you're so focused on just friends and stuff that suddenly, out of nowhere, you find yourself
It's almost like you have your own beautiful life that you're like building, and then that's attractive.
So the next one I want to talk about is motivation and kind of just career stuff. Because that's a very scary thing for people right now. And like, a lot of people feel like it's just not an option for them of like the career they want, or just like that careers are so scary. And I was talking to you before we were filming this about how I've never actually made or submitted like a legitimate resume. I've been an actor, I've made so many resumes. I've made acting resumes and acting reels, but I've never actually like submitted a resume of like, here are my real life skills.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. I've sent out a lot of resumes because I'm a job hopper.
Yeah, I feel like you're incredibly good at career stuff. Like,
Thank you.
You know what you want. You are so confident about it.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a little simulation here.
A job interview. Let's do a job interview.
Because I've never done a real job interview either.
Totally. Shayne?
Oh, yes. Hi. How's it going?
Hello.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
I'm your vice president. Not your vice president.
Right.
I am the vice president of this marketing company.
Of Oscar Mayer.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. And you have applied for the...
social media marketing strategist.
The social media marketing strategist.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're really looking for someone that can be innovative, creative, but also pay attention to the details.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that. So can you explain to me a little bit of your work history?
Yeah, so I've worked at Smosh for 50 years.
What is a Smosh?
So Smosh is a YouTube channel started by 2 idiots in Sacramento, and but they brought me along when they needed a little more talent. They needed a little bit like they needed actors. So they brought me on, and I started off in that capacity. I was doing a lot of hosting, a lot of like comedy work. I do a lot of impressions. I can do that if that will improve my
That is not a requirement.
No? Okay, great.
Or a skill we need.
Okay, well, if it is.
But what's your best impression?
I can do a Tom Cruise. That's real good.
I don't know
I can
about
also
that.
do Michael Caine.
Okay, everyone can.
Everyone can do Michael Caine.
My cocaine.
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
My cocaine.
Can you say anything else?
I am my cocaine.
But over time, I also took on producing role. I took on a lot of producing jobs there.
It sounds like you're lying.
No, I produced a lot of content there. I directed a lot of content there. I wrote a lot of things.
And how do you think those skills could help you with this job?
Well, what I see at Oscar Mayer with your social media strategy, I've worked in social media so much, and I've worked with constantly having developed new creative and new ideas and campaigns and ways of getting attention. And that's something I've really gotten good at Smosh, is getting attention from people, grabbing their attention. Do I need to put on a weird wig or paint myself?
That's not for this role.
Paint myself completely white and dress as a ghost that loves chips?
Nope. We are a wiener company.
Right, but I could maybe do a character that's a guy
Wiener ghost?
Like do a wiener ghost.
That's not.
Or I do a character named The Chosen. He's a guy who has a sword and maybe he loves wieners.
We don't need any character work on this role.
But I could do that on our.
Okay, we have a huge campaign for next year.
You got it.
We are upgrading the Wiener Mobile into a Tesla.
Ooh, okay.
And we're looking for
bold move.
I know, that guy, right? Someone up there made that decision.
Okay.
What is your pitch me on your idea for the campaign to get more publicity for the Tesla Wiener Mobile.
For Tesla Wiener?
Yeah. Tell me how to sell that Tesla Wiener.
So I think one of the ways we could do it is we could do a competition to see how many wieners we can make in the fastest possible time. Mm-hmm. And so we call it lightning speed wieners. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of to show this Oscar Mayer wiener car faster than before. We should also enter it in some races.
Oh.
And we should see what the top speed it reaches. And we should clock that. And we should show that off too. We should also give this Oscar Mayer car a little bit more of a personality. We should give it a name.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Jet.
But it's a car.
Well, but its name is Jet.
But it's a car.
Well, it's a car. Cars can have names. Knight Rider.
But it still has a car themed, like a rider. Jet is a plane.
Sure. Okay.
I don't think our wiener
dog.
Audience.
Drives past people like hot dog.
Okay.
There you go. Maybe that's a new campaign.
Okay.
It's driving past it drives past this cowboy. It drives past him so fast that his cowboy hat spins around.
Oh.
And then he clutches it and he goes, hot dog!
I think we might have filled the position.
Okay.
But thank you so much for coming in.
I didn't fucking want it in the first place. In the same category, I wanted to ask you, how do you stay motivated? Because I also wanted to tie in the fact that this year I am finally sticking to my plan, my goal of doing the splits.
Oh.
And I've actually been doing it, and you challenged me on TikTok.
I did challenge you.
And
I can't do the splits. I think we're kind of at the same spot.
Are you going to do it?
I am going to do it. And the reason why I've chosen to do it is because I am competitive as hell, especially when it comes to you.
Really?
Just because I just like bragging that I would beat Shayne Topp at something, Because I'm a little taller than you.
No, you're not. You are not a little taller than me.
I'm a little taller than you.
You're not a little taller than me.
I'm a little taller than you.
No, you're not.
And I'm going to be shorter than you when I learn to do the splits before you.
What the f*** is?
Yes. Are you doing full side split?
I'm trying to do front splits.
That's the hardest one.
Middle splits. Because
I think I could do this one. I think I could do this one faster than this one.
Yeah, and maybe you could do it faster. My body is my body is not very flexible.
Can you touch your toes?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your date looking like? When do you looking to
my
actually
goal is
balls to the ground?
Summer of this year is my goal.
Beginning of summer?
Just the summer. So if I hit it in that season,
okay,
then it's a success.
And what are you doing?
I have a 20 to 30 minute routine I do every day.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
I know, but you put that TikTok up a while ago. I decided to just challenge you yesterday.
I've promised it every year also.
Yeah. Well, it's something I've actually always wanted to do.
I really genuinely want to do it. I'm holding myself to it, and I've learned this year, there's a cool thing I learned. I'm trying to accomplish more goals, and a big part of it is just breaking things up into small little pieces.
Yes.
Because I am someone who looks at a goal as a whole, and I'm like, for instance, something that I do want to do someday is I want to write something. I want to write a book or a script.
We've talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that I've really wanted to do, but I deal with toxic perfectionism.
Same.
And it holds me back. And so I'll sit down on my computer and I just am like, I'm gonna write a movie. And then I'm like,
Once upon a time.
I can't do that. That's scary. But I need to break it into tiny, stupid little pieces.
So actually, yeah, that's actually helping me a lot with my like fitness goals, because I'm not very good at fitness, is focusing more on like how the process makes you feel rather than the end goal.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm gonna kick your ass in this splits competition, and that'll be nice, but it'll also be the journey along the way, the shit talking, the stretching I'm going to be doing, and all this shit. Like, that's the stuff we should be focusing on.
If you don't do it, I'm gonna be able to give you so much shit.
And I'm not mad about that either. It's a win-win.
Yeah, there's a few people who said, like, you know, when it comes to motivation, I'm 33 years old and I cried at the thought of having to actually go to the DMV to renew my license.
Oof.
I get that. Someone else said, when I called off of work for not wanting to go, come on, I'm too old for that.
Aww. I think that's okay. I think
occasionally,
it's okay.
yeah.
Do a mental health
Give yourself
day.
a break.
Yeah.
It's important to give yourself a break.
That was actually a goal of mine, was to like do more self-care days rather than like, I always think if I have a day off, I have to like go on a trip or go on vacation. And I was like, no, some days to figure out my paperwork or do a craft or anything like that. Like, I think you should I think that's a part of adulting actually, is acknowledging when you're at your limit and then doing the things to like recalibrate yourself.
That's so true. And I will say, like, I think a big part of adulthood that I've learned is that the world is trying to just have you work, and it's just trying to have you go.
Capitalism.
The only person who's going to set that boundary and like remember like what life is about like living and doing what you want out of it. And you're the only one who's going to be able to set that for yourself. Like, the world is not going to give you that at any point.
They're going to take advantage.
I spent a lot of my life just waiting for that to happen. I'm like, oh yeah, the adventures are going to come and it's just going to fall into my lap. And it's like, oh no, it doesn't. I have to actually deliberately make all those choices. You have to go out there and you have to do it for yourself. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
But it's what you got to do.
But I think it's also like what you said earlier, like, it's not about perfection. Like, none of us are perfect. We're never going to become perfect man, perfect woman, perfect whatever. So it's like, I think if you try to aim for perfection, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Like, just be easy on yourself. Talk to yourself like you are a friend to yourself. And really get into touch with like what your priorities are. Is it your family? Is it your friends? Is it your art? Is it, you know, just having self-time, like whatever. And then, like you said, actually doing it and focusing on the process rather than like the final thing.
And respecting your life for being an absolutely unique journey. Like,
exactly.
You're not able to compare your life to anyone else's. Like, I think it's the scary and beautiful thing about your life, is that it is going to be so unique that there's not going to really be anyone that you can take all their advice because it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
You have your own journey and you have to figure it all out, and you're going to have to find what makes you happy in it.
And I think go with your gut. Like, go with your gut in a smart, strategic way. But like, go with your gut. If you're seeing red flags, listen to the red flags. Like, if you're feeling a little uneasy, that's a moment of uncomfortability. And then I'll end it on like, Claudia showed me this like TikTok or Facebook video, I don't know, one of them. And it was Neil
deGrasse Tyson?
Yes. And he was explaining that like, how many humans could have existed and do actually exist is like so crazy. Like, the chances of you actually making it here and to be a human and like all that like each one of us are actually very lucky to be here, because like the scientific numbers behind it all is actually impossible.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of like uplifting, a little heartwarming. Like, we're very lucky to be here, even though sometimes it's a bitch, you know?
Yeah. Hey, if you're watching this, you did it. You exist.
Every day is a party. Just sometimes it's a lame party.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Just a really shitty party sometimes.
Just go to a better party.
Just go to a better party. Well, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Shayne.
You big dumb idiot.
Thank you.
You're not taller than me.
I guarantee you I'm taller than you.
We're not taller.
Let's prove it.
Yeah, prove it.
Can't tell right now.
Here, actually, let's scoot over. I'm on the rug a little bit. That's giving me like good. I'm honorable.
Don't cheat. Okay. And then we'll go back to back whenever you're ready.
Okay. Back to back.
It's Shayne.